born in a place called Salford. I don't know if any of you know, it's quite a rough area.
Yeah.
It was a lot rougher then than it is now.
Because you don't live there anymore.
Because you don't live
You
there.
don't live there anymore.
I don't live there anymore. No, I can't live there anymore. You keep robbing me. Yeah, but it was a very rough area. If you're shown any weakness, my father was an army man, and he was in the army before war broke out. And I suppose you'd call him a man's man. He was a big fella. He was huge. And he didn't mess about at all with his lads. Just did not mess about. You did something. Good ideas were very free and easily, And then the man would say, "It wasn't him," and he'd say to me, "Well, that's just in case you do it. The next time you do it, you still got one the next time you did do it." Yeah. Anyway, I had to take a lot of time off school. I can't exactly remember what it was. I think it was measles or something like that. I was quite poorly with it, so I lost a lot of time off school. Now, what I'm going to say now is, I fought with it for a long time. And the Holy Spirit spoke to me one day and he said to me, it's causing you to do so many things, causing you to lie, deceive, and all many things. Is that when I left school, I couldn't read, couldn't write. I was quite, But one thing I could do when I left school was fight. I was good at that, because my father, if we had differences with your brother, and he had a lot of brothers, he had a lot of brothers, big brothers, and the furniture would be pushed back, and my dad would get these big old-fashioned leather gloves, boxing gloves, say, and I'd be like this, because I was only little at the time, and the hands would be down there, you sort your differences out there, If that meant you got a bloody nose, then you got a bloody nose. If that meant you got a thick lip, then you got a thick lip. And so that was exactly how we were going. I'd lost this time at school, so in them days, what I'm talking about, in the 50s and 60s, there was no, like it is today, you fall behind at school and you've got these special teachers and special needs teachers. You played the game all the way through, catch up. But I never did seem to catch up at all. But, the 11 plus came round and I wasn't thick by any stretch of the imagination at all, And we did the 11 plus and it was just mumbo jumbo to me. It was, all this paper what she paid for, it was just lines and it meant nothing to me at all. But I used to absorb everything. I absorbed it. And I knew I got failed. It meant I was going to go to the secondary modern school, to the grammar school. And so I said to my teacher when I got back, I said, Miss, I could have passed that, And she said, well, why didn't you? I said, well, I couldn't read the paperwork. Now, you would have thought when I said this to the teacher, she'd have said, oh, well, let me do something about that, see if we can do something about that. They didn't, it was that's just the way it was. So I said to her, if I can do this test again, but you give the answers. First answer what I give you. Would that be acceptable? She said, well, you have to come back in your own time and do it. So I did that, came back in my own time and she went through it with me. First thing what I answered, and she read it out to me. And after she checked it all, amazement came in her face and she said, if this had been real, you'd have had a 97% pass rate. You know. So I'd gone on this road of what I call unfairness. You know, it was all unfairness. It seemed to be all happening to me, sort of thing, you know, and I started carrying this big chip on my shoulder. I left school, like as I said, you know, in the building trade, working with a lot of the Irish navvies, you know. And I remember one story, one thing there, this, they reading the papers in the used to have a cabin in them days, the big wooden cabin that we used to go in. And this big cabin was reading this, you know, newspaper. And I was watching the face, whenever I took anything out, I would watch the face. I was watching his face. And I actually seriously thought, I saw him smile. But I didn't, it can't have happened. And he passed me over this paper to me, and he said, "What do you think of that pie?" And I picked it up and I went, "Oh yeah, great, yeah." And he said to me, "Are you thick or what, young?" He said, "The poor girl is dead." You know, because, you know, I mean, it was embarrassing, you know. And anyway, so this was the way my life was going, you know. So I got in with a few lads and I started going weight training and I started doing, you know, I actually got so big. Now you probably find this hard, or you know, but I have no reason to doubt, to say any lies about this. I was actually bigger than Arnold Schwarzenegger, seriously. I was throwing stupid weight around, it was just unbelievable, the weight. You know, my wife here, she came to Total Fitness with me, and she saw some of these big weight trainers coming over and watching the weight I was. It was silly, stupid weight I was throwing around, you know. So for me to throw a man around, it was nothing. I said I grew up with this boxing, you know. I went to the Crescent Police Station and to Delphi lads, you know, when I went to competitions there and I got a silver medal for boxing, you know. Then I got in with another bunch of lads and I started messing around with martial art, the really dirty stuff, you know. Really stuff that you shouldn't be using, you know. The sort of stuff you can change somebody's nose or their eye, you know. And I went working in the nightclubs, and I was working in all the sort of nightclubs, you know, in Liverpool and in Yorkshire, and we took down in the car, and then at the end of the then I was asked if I wanted to be, you know, I mean, a lot of things went on in there, but I'm trying to round it up. A lot of things happened, you know. And then we had. I'll tell you this one thing, but we used to have a woman working with us, and she used to set these fellas up on a Friday night when they came in. And these fellas came in, all the office staff came in, and it was all set up, it was all a big set up. And he thought he'd pulled, you know, and so-called boyfriend had come, and then a fight had started, and you always made sure he went down, you always made sure his wallet left his, you know, before, and it was all whacked out at the end of the night. Not very nice, because I wasn't a nice person. You know, I carried this great big chip on my shoulder. And one day this man said to me in the street, I was walking in the street, and I knew the girl who was marrying, you know, and he said to me, he's too old and he started talking to me. And he said to me, "You do know you're a sinner." And I thought, what? I'm a sinner. Put your face somewhere else, you tell me. And I went, they were having a Saturday night meeting, and was asked to go to this meeting. Now, I grew up in a Christian family, both my parents were Christian. You know, I was so sick of hearing about Christianity. I hated Christians in a way that you'd never believe. I'd rather hit them than look at them. You know, I really, really would. You know, all this holier than thou. You know, and you know, I mean, there was one meeting when I was a little boy, and I was taken to this meeting. You know, and this man came over to my mum, and he put his hand on my mum, and my mum went down on the floor. And he went down onto my mum, and I didn't know what was going on. I was a kid at the time, and I just ran and wrapped myself around his leg and threw my teeth into his leg, as tight as I could, like, you know. And I got a real good idea for it. My dad gave me a real good idea for it, you know. So here I am now working in the nightclubs, and I was offered to go working as a minder for Stella Black. When I say minder, when she was in the clubs, that's all my job would be, to look after her, and it was the same with all the other ones what I looked after. All my job would be wasn't whatever happened in the club. There was other doormen who did that. You know, my was just to look after her, and we've always got people who wanted to push forward, and, you know. So anyway, started on this road, and this Saturday night, I was asked to go to this meeting because I was a sinner. I don't know, I was really upset about this man calling me a sinner. I could call myself a sinner, but nobody else better call me a sinner, you know. And so I went, and the call went out, you know. They all started singing the song, just I am, you know, singing stuff. You know, with a baloney, you know. And he said, does anyone know, in the motion of it all, does anybody want to give it the right to I am an absolute difference. Wasn't that I wanted to get saved, it's just that I wanted to get this guy who called me a sinner. But I couldn't do it in the club because other people was working in the club. In the church, I couldn't do that because other people was there, so I had to get him outside, so it would be his word against my word. Because I was really going to hurt him. I was really, and believe me when I said hurt, I could hurt people, you know. And I don't say that in any boast or anything, that was just a sheer fact of it. I was awesome. I was, you know. So, this guy who come down, he had a bit of a reputation. He come down from Glasgow, and he was a bit of a street fighter in Glasgow. And everyone was saying, oh, you've got to be careful when Scots like you. You know, but to me, it was just a red rag what was being waved. You know, because of this guy was coming down from Glasgow, it was a red rag. So I got him outside. I said, he said, do you want to come forward? I said, no. I said, I'm quite shy. I was shy. I have to be shy. I just need to see. I said, can we go outside and do it outside? So he's, yeah, it's outside. So I manoeuvred him into a corner. He didn't even know I was doing it. I manoeuvred him into a corner, and I got very up close to him. And I've shown him Des before in the back, you know, where I got really close. I held him with my weight, took his face out. You know, not nice, it's horrible stuff. And I've got him against this wall. Now, something happened. Because somebody hit me from the back. And my head went down like a poleaxe cow. And I was on the floor, and I remember being on my hands and knees on the floor. I grew up in Salford, in a very rough family, you know. I mean, the church which I'm going to now, the pastor's wife remembers us, and she said, I remember you lot, your family, you used to go in pubs and fight the full pub. You know, which was right, that's what we used to do. You know, it was, you know. So, I went down on the floor and there was nobody there. But I remember being on my hands and knees, and I remember sobbing. Really, really sobbing. And the more I sobbed and the more I cried, the more I felt this stuff coming out of me. Something was happening to me. I don't know what it was. Something was happening to me. And I became so aware of everything in my life. And then this hand came down. And you know, as it was in front of me, it looked like it was like this big hand came down. And I took hold of this hand and they helped me pull me up. And I was crying when I got up. And I just put my hands around this man. There and then I accepted Jesus Christ into my life as my Lord and Saviour. You know, and God just took me on from glory to glory. You know, those days were gone. It was very hard to outlive them sometimes because people would come along and they wouldn't let you forget your past, where you've come from. You know, but as I said, I'm a new creation now. That part of me is dead. Is no more. It's finished. It's gone. That part of me. I'd rather love you now than hate you.
Amen. Praise God for that.
And so God took me on from strength to strength. How much time can I go up a bit?
3 hours.
Yeah. So yeah, so you know, that's basically it. You know.
Amen.
And I've tried to say it a few times, that's why you know, I've done it here. I've put my testimony on online. So I did it for me. You know. But you know what? When I spoke this, it has changed people's lives. And maybe somebody here today, if my testimony can change your life, you know, because I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been on the side where you would call you made it. I was driving good cars, nice cars, money always get in your pocket, you know. I have to just say one thing, because I'm going to end it like that. I have to tell you one thing. I was messing around at the time, before I accepted Jesus Christ into my life. I was messing around with a big gang from Manchester. And it was all, at the time when all this stuff was starting to come in, it used to come in with wagons and all this. It was the proper stuff, but it was coming in on wagons, bottles of whiskey and booze and tobacco and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, I took my wife down to meet this guy. And he said to me, the very first thing, he hadn't seen me for years, and he said, the very first thing he said to me, he said, why did you take yourself £1,000 worth of stuff, Paul?
Yeah.
I said, no, I don't need it. You know. But I had all this stuff there in that house, whiskey, vodka, you name it, gin, tobacco, cigarettes, I was flogging all that Christmas, making a fortune, you know. And I came home and I'd accepted Jesus into my life. And the very first thing I done was smashed every single bottle.
Hallelujah.
And I poured it in the bin. And I poured all this tobacco, and I soaked it in this booze. And then reality hit me. Hey, this is not yours. You owe £1,000 to this gang.
Oh,
you know.
my.
But you know what? I'll tell you something. Even God brought me through that.
Praise God.
I don't know how. I can't sit here today and tell you how it happened, but God brought me through away from that. So I just say this to give the glory to Father in heaven.
Amen.
So,
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Praise God.
If you're watching this video on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and ding the bell so you don't miss out on our future videos.